Rick, do you want to just give us an update on PD? He was under the weather?
Yeah, just a little bit of the weather. I think I had cold or something like that.
We always talk about, learning to win. What do you think the lesson you guys learned, a lot of your players learned in the first round? Because I know yesterday you talked about guys being a little bit more comfortable, more relaxed. What was the lesson you think learned for your guys?
Well, it's hard to win, and obviously, and the series was tough. There was some some moments where we you can't give up. We obviously came back in that game. The PK was great. Like, there was some times where a goal here or there could change things. I thought we hung in there. Timely goals, obviously good defense. I just think it's a lesson that sometimes you're gonna have to grind out wins. It's hard to win. Things aren't going to go your way sometimes, and I thought we hung in there. Didn't score a lot of goals, but we won the series. Now we move on to the next series. That's what you got to look at that way. Every game and every series is different.
When you watch a guy like Ian Cole, you can see his playoff poise. He may not be the fastest of foot, but he always makes that clean pass out of his own end, hangs on to the puck for another second or two. How much of that is going through the process of all those playoff series, and you think that rubs off and guys learn from that?
Yeah, well, I know Kohler from and I think I told you this, when we played the Penguins. We played Nashville. Was it 16 or 17? I can't remember, but there was a sequence when he blocked three. We won the 1-0 game, but all I remember is him blocking three unreal shots. It's the same thing. It was a pivotal part of a game. He took 3 shots. I think one off the chest, collarbone, and one off the head. That's Ian Cole. He'll do whatever it takes to win. That's why we went and got him, and playoff experience, right? That was a big. You should have saw our bench after the game. It was like, I forget who scored that game. I don't remember all the stuff, but I do remember those 3 shots that he blocked.
Any closer to a decision on goaltending?
I'll talk to Clarkie about 4 o'clock today. I keep saying that.
Perfect timing.
I know.
At 23 years of age, how impressive is what Artie's doing at this young of an age? And sometimes is it better to maybe not know what you don't know?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's, the more you think, sometimes you get in trouble. I don't think he thinks. I think he just, hey, you're playing or you're practicing or whatever. Hey, we're going to do this. Come on the ice early. He just does what he's told, and I don't think he's thinking too much. I think he's, I don't know. He's just a guy that just comes to the rink every day and does his thing.
We know how talented they are on their power play, but
Yeah.
when you look at just how they move and operate on the power play, and the number of options they have, how difficult is it to defend all of it?
Yeah, the options or the set plays they have aren't the difficult part. It's when, they beat pressure and they attack. Like, they're so underrated. I mean, everybody talks about their talent, yeah. McDavid's unreal, we all know that, but their attack mentality is as good as in the league. They once they sniff something, it's there. Backdoor play, slot play, Bouchard one-timer, that can happen in one play. So you have to be ready for it. You got to pick your poison and give them one of hopefully the least, dangerous play.
You want to describe your power play goal with Henrik at the end of practice?
2 feet in. It's a classic goal.
Yeah. Defending, we all understand, it's 5 guys, not just the 2 defensemen. Yeah. But as a group, do you think that's the best your blue line group has looked this year in that series against Nashville?
Yeah, it's fair to say. I mean, I think all year the D has been somewhat of a fabric of a team, the way we play defense, but I thought they did a great job with the interior. I mean, when Nashville had their chances, Artie was there for us, or Casey, or Demmer. But for me, they did a really good job of protecting the high danger interior stuff. I thought that was probably their best. Yeah, I would fair to say.
And obviously, the Oilers are another animal, and there's only one McDavid and there's only one Draisaitl as well. So that's a different challenge. But Nashville, from the All-Star break to the end of the season, was actually ahead of Edmonton on goal scoring, ahead of them on power play. Are there things that you achieved in the Nashville series that you think can translate or give you more confidence about going against Edmonton?
Well, I think those stats help. I mean, it helps us think, hey, man, Nashville, they're right up there with Edmonton with the offense the last half of the year or whatever, 30 games left. So that helps the psyche. But, I mean, obviously Edmonton's conversion rate, 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s is pretty high. I mean, so you got to limit the odd man rushes because, you give them enough, their conversion rate. Other teams, maybe not as much, but this team conversion rate is really high.
Rick, you guys were a dominant team on home ice all season long, and yet you only won one game here in the first round, but you won all three out on the road. What do you have to do to make home ice an advantage, or is it you get to this stage of the second round, they're all good teams, and maybe, screaming crowds are the same in both places, like maybe the advantages aren't as big as you want to believe they are?
Well, I just felt on the road compared to the home in this series, I liked our starts. I mean, actually, the one game our start was just average, but I didn't mind our game. And then if something bad happened, I felt our intensity kind of went down a notch. I think on the road we just kept the same mentality. I don't know if we disappointed the fans or something. I don't know what it is, because the fans never wavered. They were loud even when we were down 3-1. So no, I don't know the reason why, because this is a pretty good building for us to play in. I just don't think if it doesn't go your way, you got to keep your emotions the same. Everything's got to be the same. You can't be a roller coaster at home.
We just talked to Dakota, who sort of agreed that game one, he was pretty good, and that line was pretty good, and obviously they saw matchups, and I know he contributed on the penalty kill, but he agreed that, as the series went on, there was certainly room for improvement.
Yeah.
How did you look at his first round, and where can he ratchet things up?
Yeah, I think Dakota gets in trouble when he doesn't move his feet. I mean, we've said that a bunch of guys, right? You hear me say it all the time. I think Dakota gets in trouble when he doesn't move his feet. I thought after that first game, it wasn't he didn't play bad. I thought he was fine. But the guy, the way he's played the last bunch of games, in the season, I thought he's one of our best forwards. I thought he was just a little bit slow on his movements. And I thought, like today we talked about that. It was actually, we just saw it play. Same thing, he didn't move his feet, and then he come up and he goes, I got to move my feet there. So I think it's just a mentality for him. I think it's his first playoff stuff, right? So maybe he understands now, hey, it's going to be another level, and I got to start to move my feet. That's it. I mean, he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be huge for us in this series. Huge for us.
The Miller line was so dominant again last round, and they've been that for a lot of the season. What does Hughes, though, in particular, what does he bring to that line that makes them work so well?
Well, I think there's certain things that he does that helps Millsy. He's the one thing I like about Hughes the last series around the net a lot, and I think that's important. It can't be just best. I think that he got a lot of chances, and that to me is in our own end. If Millsy gets caught somewhere, if he's up high, Suits can go down and play center. I think that happened a few times in the series where he was down low, and we were comfortable with him because he's good down low. He was a centerman by trade. So I think that helps Millsy. Instead of, I think sometimes Millsy plays with other guys, he thinks he's got to be low all the time, and he makes these switches when we shouldn't. Where when Puce is down there, he's got it. So he can kind of play the wing position for us. I think that helps.
And then just overall, how does Edmonton defend compared to Nashville, and how's that going to affect what you guys want to do?
They're different. They're more in the Vegas, Boston, us kind of defending mode. Nashville's more of a pressure, triple, double up, where I think Edmonton's more like us, Boston, and that kind of Seattle, Vegas kind of mode.
Coach, you talk a lot about the physicality and physically tough. This series is going to be there's going to be a lot of mental grind for this. This is a very passionate series with both fan bases. So how, as a coach, do you prepare your players to not get too high or low, and maybe not check that social media where all of the negative comments might be coming in?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if guys listen to that stuff, but I to me, we just, you heard Millsy say we got to play our style of hockey. We can't change for different teams. Obviously, Edmonton, we got to tweak some things. Obviously, the neutral zone they're one of the best neutral zone teams. They go to the net as good as everybody in the league. So those are two areas that we got to make sure we're clean on. But for the other stuff, I think you block it out. I mean, the game's played on the ice.
Coach, lots of history, familiarity with these teams, but no rivalry.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to get to that level?
Well, I just think, obviously, you're in the second round. I mean, this is there's only 8 teams left. You know, Edmonton's in our way, and we're in their way. So that's a rivalry to me. Like, I mean, you can't take this for granted. This might not happen again for some guys. You might not get this chance again. So the stakes are high. That builds rivalry. You should be angry and mad and whatever it takes inside your body to get your game to that level, find it. And I think that's how you build rivalries. I don't know. It could happen the very first shift of the game, but maybe it's happened right now. I don't know, but you better have it.